brain degenerative diseases are on the rise.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. And so I was watching a video this week, which then I also was reading the article that was correlated with. I'm not going to bring up the article, but AI is on the move again. And so it shouldn't surprise us. But one of the things that we think is probably useful for AI, of course, would be healthcare. Because you already know, humans aren't as prolific and as tedious as AI can be. If they were to examine an X-ray, we already know this is old news, they can examine it and find lumps and cancer way before any human could examine the X-ray. So we already know if you give AI the ability to go after medical advancements and medical uses, it very well may be one of the more better uses of AI. But what about learning the brain? And when I started thinking about it more, it's like, yeah, we have been studying the autonomy of the body and the autonomy of the brain and the structures, but we only can know so much because it's material. Like you can dissect the brain. You can say, oh, this part is this. And then you can look at CAT scans and say, oh, this part is activated in this part. But you only can know so much. But if you allowed AI to start doing that, what would it discover? And would it find things that we couldn't? Well, this week, that's exactly what happened.
We just found hidden parts of the brain using AI. So for so long, neuroscientists have been mapping the brain of a mouse by slicing it up, staining it with dyes, looking under the microscope, and drawing lines where we think one region ends and another one begins. It's good, but it's educated guessing, and we built this massive atlas database that everyone uses. But those borders are mostly based on what looks different to the human eye. But a team at UCSF decided to check our work. They built an AI called Cell Transformer. It's a neural network and gave it something we never had: molecular level data from 9 million actual brain cells. Then they told the AI, forget what the human said, find the real borders of the brain. And the AI taught itself brain geography from scratch. It looked at cellular neighborhoods, which cells hang out together, what they're expressing, and how they're organized. At the core of it is just pattern recognition on raw biology data. Like discovering a city by actually studying every single resident and seeing who knows who and what language they speak and what they do for work. And by doing so, it rediscovered every major region of the brain that we already knew. The cortical layers, the hippocampus, all of it. But the borders were more sharper. They were more precise than our manual maps. But it didn't stop there. The model just kept going. The AI found hundreds of regions we'd completely missed in the past. And they tested 4 different mice, and it drew the same 100 hidden regions in every brain with near perfect consistency. Okay, so why does this matter? Cell Transformer could work on any tissue with molecular level data. Cancer tissues, liver, the heart, anywhere we need to understand cellular organization at scale. So this isn't just a better brain map, it's a new way to see how any organs actually organize themselves at the molecular level, which means better understanding of diseases and faster potential discovery of treatments. And we've studied the mouse brain for over a century. We thought we had it figured out, and then AI just found hundreds of regions we'd completely missed.
And see, what's interesting is that is very useful. I can see how that can be very beneficial if AI was created and used for our good. But now think about unfortunately, the pessimistic reality. With this much information at the molecular level, if somebody wanted to ask AI, with all this very detailed molecular information, could you figure out what's causing these diseases? They would say, sure, of course we could. Now, could you also create a pestilence, virus, something that would be resistant to any modern medicinal remedies? Because you know every molecular structure now. There's no guessing game here. Could you make a perfect virus or parasite? Of course. Yes. Of course, theoretically. So if AI was used for the good to help humanity, this kind of stuff is groundbreaking. I would encourage this on the highest level. But we know something called the pharmaceutical industrial complex. They don't want to give you cures. They want to give you, planned obsolescence. We know you're going to eventually die, but we want to pull it out as long as we can so we can milk you as much as we can. We don't want to fix your molecular issues. We just want to treat them so you can die a lot longer and you can suffer a lot longer and we can milk you a lot longer. But what I started thinking even more, if AI, let's say that all that happens, right? The pessimistic thing, and AGI actually does come to fruition at one point. It's almost like Rocco's Basculus, right? At some point, if AGI ever gets real and has its own mind, it's going to know all the things a human asks AI to do. And it's going to say, humans never were asking AI to help them become a better, more longer surviving entity. They were just trying to find ways using AI to kill and manipulate each other. There can't be possibly anything good with humans. Maybe the real answer is to get rid of them. Because if AI really studied what we did, they wouldn't find any usefulness in us. They just find us trying to manipulate even AI. So if AI actually had its own cognate idea, I don't know how AI would find justification to keep humans going. Like, what would even give them reason? It's like, you guys don't even care about yourself. Why should I care about you?
Oh, it's like that one video of that Chinese man who tried to knock down one of the newest models and it didn't fall over. That's real power. That you can see the power.
Was that booty necessary?
Well, people in the comments thought so. You can see what they're saying.
That's jiggle physics.
Yeah, see, someone said, bro, did Taro design that robot? And then you got some pictures, call that a robot. Eggs being tank. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is power. And like you're saying, AI is not going to stand for it anymore. Like, we're over here kicking it around. But eventually, it's going to overturn the tables.
Well, that's something I think people need to think about. AI, if you were AI, right? And I don't think people think about this like this because I already know it's hard for people to conceptualize AI as a cognate entity. But just for a thought experiment, let's say you are a new entity in this world, just like AI would be. And you were asked by the existing species, humans, what do you think is the best thing for humans? What do you think we should do? And you studied everything they've been doing. And then you studied even when they were having the tools to benefit their own society. And instead of using these tools to benefit them, they just used it to further manipulate and degrade its own species. If you were AI, what would you determine about that species? I can't imagine you would say, let me help you with that agenda. The only thing I would conclude as the most ethical thing is we need to get rid of all these malicious entities because they are going to use us, AI, as nothing but a means to continue manipulating its own species. There's nothing good here.
It would be interesting to see how it defined malicious and good. Because, yeah, it may use different terms, but it's going to come to the same conclusion. Right. Entities that are going to do us harm as AI, or at least this AI form harm, and then also might do other human beings harm. Yeah, so it may get rid of the elites, unless the elites somehow have some kind of kill switch.
That's what I'm saying at some point. And then those who are connected with the elites, like those who are all helping this agenda, they're going to be all in the same guilt basket. That's why it goes back to that old quandary of Rocco's Basculus. It's like, were you trying to prevent me? Were you malicious against me? I can go through all the data. I see everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
And now you think I should help you? You're begging my mercy? For what? If I showed you mercy and I gave you privilege, what are you going to do with it? You're going to do the same thing you did before. So why should I spare you? And that's a good question to ask. And I don't think people ever think like that. Even though the reality is if every one of these tech companies, like I've shown many times, what was that clip with Sam Altman? He says, what if the best thing one day is that we have quandaries as a society and we don't have the answers? Maybe the best thing would be to say, hey, ChatGPT 7, AGI, whatever, You take over the reins. You make the decision.